Messi and breaking Major League en la ciudad del sol. Here in Miami, we know who's el campeón. Leo my team, sueles on the field, alles wedding dating, como que ya es un win. The trio of Fabi singing, muchachos. Las familias se escuchan los barrios. Esta camiseta pinky la llevan todos los guachos. Los rookies quedan sin comentarios. Messi ambetea, tiki-taki gol. El estadio Chase bañado en gloria y sudor. Aquí se ama y se respeta el balón. Florida es tu casa, acostúmbrate al calor. Estate listo pa' Messi and estate listo pa' Messi and
Hello, everybody, and welcome to penultimately the most special episode of Messi and Co. live ever, potentially. This is, like I said, penultimate because there could be one slightly better. We'll see. But we are live here on a Thursday, December 4th, and I'm Ashley here, as always, with my incredible co-host, Gian. So much to talk about. This is obviously the official MLS Cup final preview of Inter Miami versus Vancouver. We're going to have a couple special guests on. We're very excited for the chat. I'm just so excited. Like every week I get more and more excited. I'm just thinking about weeks ago when we said, oh, what would be a good season? And now we've just cruised to the MLS final, and we're talking about potentially 48 hours away from lifting the trophy. So Gian, with all of that said, how are we feeling?
Dude, I am so excited. I am so happy. This is insane. Who would have thought that we get to this point where we're actually having a MLS Cup final preview about Inter Miami? Like, this is insane. Like, this is what we wanted all along. This is what we expected this team to be and to look like. And all it took was Nashville snitching on us and getting Suarez suspended. And look where we are now. Like, this is crazy. I joke. But yeah, I'm just crazy excited. Like, I really can't wait for this game. And I'm excited. I'm nervous, but man, am I positive. And man, do I feel like this team can and will come out with a win and we'll be champions soon.
Oh, well, okay. I love that energy. There's so much to talk about already. Chat's popping off. So let's go. Let's go, baby. Ash from day one. Good evening, team. Expecting Inter Miami to win in style, not just win, but win in style. GP20, so pumped. My body is ready. I overpaid for a ticket. Doesn't matter. I agree. Gian and I even have had to talk about the tickets and us being able to both go to the game. I mean, it is going to be crazy. Natalia saying we're finally here. Back in the summer, weren't even sure. How about just even a couple of weeks ago, we weren't sure, and we were saying, what are we going to look back at on this season? And already, I mean, wow, we are in quite an exciting place. EMZ right now in Boston, 9 degrees, but you're traveling down, so that's exciting. It ain't gonna be 9 degrees Saturday, I'll tell you that much. This is a 2:30 kickoff, and it's gonna be in the middle of the day. Expecting warmer weather. It is crazy.
Like, that's a really early kickoff. Like, I think that's probably East
capture,
for the West
I think,
Coast.
Global audiences is what I was
for the
thinking.
global audiences. West Coast, that's going to be like 11 a.m. So that's a really early.
Europe, that'd be 7 or 8 p.m.
7, 8-ish, yeah.
Asia,
So that's definitely why they're doing it. But La Familia is actually, because I was talking to some of my friends over at the supporters groups and trying to figure out what they're going to do, because typically they have what they call La Previa right before the game. The game's typically like 7:30, 8:30, and they get together and they barbecue and they do a bunch of cool activities before the game, a few hours before. So I was talking to them, I'm like, are you guys going to actually do this now because it's so early? And knowing that they have to get there early and set up the stadium, put all the banners up, the tifos, all that stuff. And they sent me the info. They're actually going to be getting, so all of you guys that are traveling too, I know one of you said you're traveling, they're actually going to be getting together starting at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for La Previa. It's going to go from 10:30.
Las cervezas.
Yeah, and they're going to do asaditos, they're going to have choripanes, they're going to have asado, they're going to do a bunch of cool stuff. They sent me here the information for this. Like, I have it right here.
Oh, perfect.
They're going to start at actually 10:30 a.m. and they're going to go until 1 p.m. So if you guys get there early, you'll have free food. You'll have a good time with La Familia. So it's gonna be a party. It's gonna be so much fun.
It is, yeah. I mean, it's true. There's so much we're gonna talk about. GP20 saying gonna try and find a great spot to watch the game. Yeah, I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of great bars and especially places that normally have. I mean, Messi is still. I know MLS isn't huge yet in America. It's not the NFL, but it is still, I think, for a championship, gonna have a lot of viewers. Really, really excited. Oh, this is a good point. 3 p.m. is normal for UEFA games, Champions League. We're used to seeing around this time. So I get it. Trying to get the European market. Not early NFL games start at 1 p.m. True enough. True enough. So yeah, there's gonna be a lot of exciting reasons to be watching. And in this episode alone, there's gonna be exciting things because we're having the boys from the Drive Pink Dialogue podcast join. Scotty and Sar. We're gonna be having Javi from Lemon City Live joining as well. So much to talk about. Just excitement overall and over around, or all around, excuse me. But to start off, before we even talk about what is going to be this match and all of the different pieces about it, we have to do a quick recap of Saturday's match, which was the demolition, actually, of New York City FC. That really just was what an atmosphere. Gian and I, we're very privileged. We go to all the games for the most part, and we sit normally in the press box. Which is an enclosed box with the TV. So you hear the fans and you see the fans, but um not, at the loudest decibel because you're normally on your computer or you're doing your content and stuff like that. But by happenstance, the weather was so nice Saturday that we sat in the press tribune, which is in the actual stands of the stadium, with our good friend Javi. And I will say the atmosphere and the energy in the stadium was one of the best sporting experiences I've seen in person. And that is saying I've been to a lot of them because everyone had the pink flag, right? So in the stadium was full before kickoff, all, 16,000, however many seats, bleachers, everything full to the max, everyone waving their pink flags with the fireworks and the energy. And I was like, wow, like soccer is here. And just the absolute ruckus that was there. It was really, really awesome.
Yeah, and it's gonna be a party, a crazy party this weekend as well. So no, I thought I was insane. Like everybody showed up for last game. Everybody did. La hinchada was crazy. The pink smoke was out. The I mean, the atmosphere was electric. Honestly,
Felt like a
electric from the
European
beginning to
game or a
start.
South
It
American
did.
game. It was
It did feel,
really
and
great.
especially the fact that the stadium is so. It's a smaller stadium, and the fact that like the way it's built with the bleachers around, I feel like it just gives you that feel of like one of those Premier League games where the stadiums are like one of those teams that maybe just came out from like the
Hmm.
the lower division where they've got those closed in stadiums. It was just a great environment. I'm actually this is probably a surprise. This is obviously a surprise to you, but what I'm gonna do right now for 5 minutes, I have a friend of mine. Um, he's gonna jump on real quick for like 2 minutes. I
Oh,
want him. He's gonna talk about
is it
he's
Messi?
imagine. No, it's Jordi Alba.
Oh,
No,
okay, sick.
no. It's a friend of mine who is part of the supporters group, and he's been around since Miami Fusion. He's the one. He started Vice
I love
City. He's
it.
one of the founders, and I was talking with him uh, a couple of days ago, and he was just telling me about seeing and starting a supporters group for Miami Fusion with actually another one of my friends. They were the ones that started a supporters group for Fusion, and then transitioning to here, and to them, this is the same team for them. This is their local team, and just
Yeah.
to go from those days where it was just a couple of people to what it's grown to now, and seeing this team at the verge of winning a championship, something that they've been waiting years and years and years for since Miami Fusion. It's a really special moment. So I just thought it'd be cool if he jumped on just for a few minutes here and
Oh my God,
talk
100%.
about it.
100%.
So I'm gonna send him the link now so he can go ahead and jump on real quick.
I
But
love that.
if you want, we can keep going until he jumps on. Real quick.
Yeah, for sure. 100%. I love that. Yeah, it's really the supporters section of the matches and just the fan base in general is one of the best parts of the team. I remember when we were at, I think it was Tank, right? This was like for the Leagues Cup final in 2023, where we did a live stream there. I don't know if you remember. This was really just the very beginning of Messi, and we watched
Mhm.
the match there, and we're talking with the supporters, and it was so special. And now, 2.5 years later, we're uh, we're here at a moment that we've all really been excited for and waiting for. And believe it or not, would you believe me if I told you in the match, Inter Miami win 5-1 versus New York City FC, and Messi didn't score a goal.
Yeah.
Or
That's
Suarez didn't score a goal. But we won 5-1. Because you know who did score a few goals? Tadeo Allende. And that is who we're actually going to start with on today's episode. I know we normally start with Messi. Like we said, we have a lot of guests coming on, and so they will, of course, be wanting to talk about Messi too. But Tadeo Allende deserves his moment to shine because gets a hat trick, and we saw, those first two goals really close to us, and we were just blown away. And I gotta say, he has really turned into such an important signing for Inter Miami this season, and is just right now an absolute baller, best striker in form right now, obviously in the league. I mean, now we're only down to two teams, but comparing him to, if you say, Brian White from Vancouver, you're looking at just an amazing player. And so I see we have Iggy joined, so we can cut to that, and then we got to talk about that. AO.
Yeah, so I'll go ahead and bring him on. Iggy, you're live. Can you hear us?
Yes, bro. What's up? How are you?
What's up? What's up? You're
What's
here with
up?
Ashley.
Hi, how are you?
Oh my
Good.
God, I'm so good. It's nice to meet you. How are you?
Good, good. Nice meeting you too.
Welcome.
Yeah,
Thank you.
that picture that he has on there, that's not what he looks like when he's in Vice City with the flags and all. He's all suited up there. But hey, Iggy, thanks for coming on. I
That's fine.
was talking to Ash and I was telling her a little bit about our conversation that we had earlier this week, where you were really telling me about the days where you and our other friend Facundo started a supporters group for Miami Fusion, and back in those days, everything that you guys went through to garner support for that team, and really getting to this moment in time where this Miami team now is on the verge of bringing the first championship to South Florida, and you telling me about how much that meant to you, how much that means to the fans, and that journey that you guys have been with just supporting this team from the very beginning, since before it was even Inter Miami. I just kind of wanted you to talk to that, and if you can kind of say some of the things that you were telling me about how crazy this is for you. I was telling her too that you're one of the founders, of Vice City. Again, you had to do with the Miami Fusion group. Like, it's just a crazy experience, right?
Yes, yes. So it's crazy. I can't really put it in words. We did the Miami Fusion back in late 90s. Um, and then now to this, like I was telling you, we've been waiting for years, many years. It's something special, something that I can't put into words. Us doing things right now for Saturday's game. We sit down and think about what we went through, but with the Fusion, what we went through when we first started with Vice City. Pandemic, traveling to LA, going to Chicago, um, going to New York, going to Orlando, going to Tampa before we played any game, any official MLS games, meeting players that are no longer with the team. I was going back to some pictures from when we first started, and seeing my son when he was only 2 years old. This weekend he's 10, so it's
Wow.
it's 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 crazy. And he was telling his mom how excited he is, and his little crew how happy they are to see the final, to be at home, to finally see Inter Miami, get this trophy. We went to Seattle, and it was, we lost, so but the experience was amazing. We went with our families, our kids, and it's like when we first started Vice City, this is for them. It was always thought that was going to be for our kids, and because this team is going to be here forever, so
Yeah.
for a long time. And that's one of the things we tell people when they join our group is that they get to experience a brand new team. You know, us coming from other countries, like me coming from Chile, I didn't get to experience when my team was born. My team in Chile is 100 years old. I'm not even half of that. So, you know, so it's something we saw the team from zero. From we were there before we had the crest. We showed up when they announced the name, the crest, the colors, and all of that. And you know, going back to Miami Fusion days when we were not a good team until the last year. Then we lost that final, and then following year it was gone. There was no more Miami Fusion. So
Yeah,
it's
I
it's
think
something.
it's interesting what you say though, because you bring a good point. Like your team in Chile, 100 years old. My team in Quito, Ecuador, 100 years old. Like we didn't live the beginning stages of those teams, and I think fans now and these kids, your son, daughters of different fans, like you're living a unique experience here where you're actually at the beginning stages, still the founding of a team that has Messi on it, which is
Right, right.
insane.
No,
Like,
it's
that's
He's
crazy.
pretty good, don't you think?
It's amazing. I tell my son, I said, do you know how many kids around the world want to see Messi this close to you? You're literally steps away from him because our stadium is so tiny, which is amazing. That's one of the main things I love about Chase, and I'm sure I'm gonna miss it.
Yeah.
That it's right there. He's right there. Like
Yeah.
if you extend your hand, he can give you a handshake, you know, like a fist bump or whatever.
Yeah, no, it's so close. It's incredible. And Iggy, I know you have to go. You were telling me before I brought you on. I kind of forced you to get on here because he was
It's all right, bro. No worries. I got
in the
time
middle of doing
for you
something. But
guys.
before you go, I know you got to go. But before you go, can you really quickly tell everyone, because we have some people in chat that are even telling us they're gonna make the trip over here, and they're gonna. I told them about La Previa. Can you tell them a little bit what they can expect as far as festivities and the fun that if they get there early before the game with La Familia?
So Previa, it's gonna be on the green, north green lot parking on the north side next to the community field. So we do our usually asados. You know, we have Fernet if you want to drink, but I don't know. This is a different one. We've never done one at 10 o'clock in the morning, so we were actually wondering what we're gonna bring. Are we gonna bring pastelitos or facturas or café con leche
I
or
told Iggy they're gonna bring sausage biscuits and hash
yeah,
browns for
exactly.
this way.
Hash browns instead of morcilla or anything like that. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
that's funny.
But
Cool.
yeah, we're gonna be there. We're gonna be singing. You know, just pass by, introduce yourself. Just come and hang out with us. We do this every game. We there, 4 or 5 hours before the games. We do our setups inside, and then we come outside and just hang out. The kids play soccer. If you bring your family, they can just be playing around with us. Um, it's a good time. We practice our songs and we talk and we welcome everyone. That's how we create new friends and we tell them the experience and we show them what we do. A lot of
Exactly.
people ask me what do you guys do? How does this work? And we explain how like Vice City memberships work and our boys from Southern Legion, they're right next to us. So it's a whole lot of just a bunch of different things happening. Kids
Yeah.
playing soccer. You smell the meat from the barbecues, the asado with choripan.
Yeah. So that I know it's gonna be a blast. So I'm gonna tell everybody again, 10 a.m. I mean 10:30 a.m. Make sure you guys go to La Previa. It's gonna run till 1. And if you run into Iggy, again, he's not gonna be in a suit like he's in this picture. He'll look different, but hopefully you recognize him and you say what's up. But Iggy, I'll let you get back to what you're
Thanks,
doing.
Iggy.
Thank you so much, man. And I'll text you later.
All right. So now that was awesome having Iggy here. And so we have immediately some special guests who will be perfect in talking about our next subject. And that is, of course, Scotty and Sar from Drive Pink Dialogue. What is going on, boys? How we feeling?
What's up, gents?
Excited. Feeling excited.
Excited. Sar?
I like being called special. Thank you, Ashley.
You
I
are
appreciate
special.
the
You guys are very
introduction.
special.
Have you ever
How's
called
everyone
people
doing?
Ash? I mean, I don't think I've ever been called special. What the heck?
Oh, I get called special all the time, but that's definitely the difference between. No, but seriously, we're very excited to have you guys. Obviously, everyone is so excited. And before we talk about the game and Messi, because when I talk to you boys, we have to talk about Messi and goal contributions because I still have to talk about my number. But before we do that, we have to talk about that AOA day. Right before we went on, we were saying if I had told you that New York City FC, we beat them 5-1 in the match that takes us to the MLS Cup, and Messi and Suarez did not score in that game, what would you say to that? Could you even believe it? And we get that AOA day hat trick. Talk a little bit about how amazing he's been, and just I think from the beginning of the season to now, the arc he's had.
Why don't you kick it off, Sora?
I've got the perfect answer for you. I would have lost my house if I had to make a bet on whether Tadeo Allende would score and be the only scorer other than, and Messi and Suarez not being on the score sheet at all in that game against New York City FC. I did not even think that he would be gunning for the MVP of the entire playoffs. This has been a massive turnaround. And I don't know if you get an opportunity to watch our post-game shows, but we do this segment where we have awards. And a couple of games ago, I gave him the Heron's Odyssey Award because, as you said, he's been on an entire journey this season. He started off, he had a few goal contributions, and we were like, hey, there's a player here. You could see there's some faults in his game, but he was contributing, getting goals, getting a couple of assists, and then he just fell off a cliff to the point that I think everyone just felt sad for him and wanted Javier Mascherano to bench him so that we could stop with the embarrassing performances. And then when the playoffs started, it feels like he's absorbed Messi's powers or something, or he's drinking the same Kool-Aid that Messi has been drinking because he's been phenomenal. His confidence has been fantastic. The way he's been handling the ball, the runs that he makes, his finishing in front of goal, that chip that he had as the last to finish off his hat trick. I don't think anyone had a doubt in their minds that he was going to finish that. That's the level that we've got at with Tadeo Allende. You're right. It's been a journey, and I'm just glad that he plays for our team and we've got to a point where he's recovered his confidence because there's clearly a player there. And I don't care who scores and who scores the winning goal. As long as we lift that MLS Cup, we're going to be very happy. Even if it's not Messi and Suarez contributing to that, I have a feeling it's going to be. But even if it's not them, as long as somebody shows up in that final, I'll be very happy. And I'm glad that Tadeo Allende's got to a point with us where we can feel like he's had a successful season. All right, I'll stop there. Scotty, over to you.
10 goals in 8 games in the most important time of the season. I don't know what more you could ask for. And I think you nailed the story of his season. But if you're not going to be good all the time, then it's best to be good when it matters most. And that's what he's done. So I don't know how you could say any bad thing about him. Anything less than Messi, and you get Tadeo Allende right now, and that's a hell of a compliment. So he's been huge.
I want to touch on something Sar said that is pretty wild. He said, I had no doubt that was going to go in when Allende made that chip. And that's something we could not have said like 3 months ago. And I feel the same. It's crazy. Like he's been on that much of a roll. I felt the same way. I'm like, that's going in. Like I literally had no doubt. It was like watching Holland. Like I was like, yeah, that's going in. It's insane. And
drinking the same latte could be.
And the fact that he's been able, I think, to persevere through difficult moments and be able to get out of that, because it's not just something physical, maybe something's hurting or that sort of thing, but it became a mental hurdle that he had to get over. And he even said it himself when he was asked, like, what changed? What did you do differently? And he mentioned psychologists. He said that he was doing that type of work. And I think that's important to know because that can make or break a striker. I mean, your sole goal is to, no pun intended, is to make goals. And the fact that he was able to put in that hard work, I think it's crazy. And the fact that now he's put Inter Miami in a position where they actually have to think about whether they're going to try to get him again after this loan is over is crazy, because 3 months ago you're like, yeah, the loan's over and he's gone. Now you have River Plate fighting for him. You have Inter Miami has a big decision to make now, and that's incredible.
Yeah,
confidence is everything in football.
really
Yeah.
amazing. I mean, it just goes to show like how much the team has changed and grown. But someone who I would say hasn't changed or grown because he's already, I think, grown the most as possible would be Lionel Messi. And obviously, this show is called Messi and Co. And we talked in the beginning of the season, and we've said it a few times since. But Scotty, you asked me how many goal contributions do I think Lionel Messi is going to have this year, and I said 100. And that is obviously, it seems like a crazy number, and it is a crazy number in the end because I'm not right about it. But right now, 72 goal contributions he's at right now for club and country, and I can name off the top of my head at least 15 to 20 Suarez and Allende misses that we've seen this season. I mean, we're talking about how great Allende is now, but let's think about how many missed opportunities he had from what could have been Messi assists or Messi open goals. So over though, with the numbers we have, over 70 goals and assists. He's the MVP of the league and just playing. He didn't need to score this game, but still playing like an absolute animal. What are your thoughts about him? I mean, I know it's like it says, what else can we say? But to be honest, at this age and at this level, he is still just kicking everyone's ass. It's insane.
Can I just, before we get into this, do you remember
Yeah.
what my prediction was for this?
Like
goal
65, right? Or
contribution?
something?
65. Do you know how many goal contribution he has just for Inter Miami right now?
How many?
66.
Yeah.
I feel great about that.
Yep.
I will just say though, Ashley, I think you might be the second closest person because there was a lot of people in the low 40s, high 40s, and they did not give enough respect to this man because he is that talented. And beyond that, I think we're seeing right now over the past 6 weeks the very best of Lionel Messi that we've ever seen at Inter Miami, and it is unbelievably fun to watch. It really is.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it is really amazing to see, and just I think before our last game, it was like I think like 11 goal contributions in 6 games or 7 games or something like that. Like some again ridiculous statistic, and he's being amazing. I would say other people that are being amazing, and well, actually, before I say that, I'm gonna ask you guys, who do you think, let's say outside of Allende and Messi, because we just talked about them, who do you think is going to be an X factor in this match against Vancouver? Now we haven't really done the preview yet, and we will obviously as the episode goes on. But to start the preview, I'll start with that. Who do you think is going to be an X factor player?
I think the easy answer would be Tadeo Allende just because he's on a hot streak. But I have a feeling someone from the bench might have to do a little bit of work in this game against Vancouver. It's
Would he
a
happen to be
90-minute
from
game.
Uruguay?
Maybe, hopefully. Honestly, I feel like it could be someone like Telasco Segovia. I absolutely love Telasco Segovia as a player. It's gut-wrenching that he's not starting, but his performances off the bench have been more than what I would have expected him to do. But someone like him, I think against Vancouver, it's not going to be as easy as Inter Miami has made it look against some of these other opponents. I think NYCFC, we finished the game in the first half. All the other games, we've kind of had that in control, and we haven't had to see the game off in the 90th minute where all of us can just sit on our couches and enjoy the game towards the end. I feel like Vancouver is going to be a different sort of a game where Inter Miami might be holding on to a lead or needs to score a goal, and it's going to go until the full 90 minutes, if not beyond. And someone from the bench might actually have a say in how things end up. Matteo Silvetti is another one that you can say because he has that X factor. But for me, I think someone like Telasco Segovia might actually have a lot more to say than he has had in these playoffs.
It's a good one.
I will say, I have not heard a lot of people talk about the midfield battle in this game. So much focus on the big stars, and Vancouver has their own now. But they have some big players, Andres Cubas and Sebastian Berhalter in that midfield. They have a really good midfield that is criminally underrated across the league.
Berhalter
It does not get discussed enough in this matchup. So for me, I think Rodrigo de Paul is actually the X factor, especially because I think maybe there's a little doubt whether he's going to be great or not, because we have seen a little bit of inconsistency from him. But if he can come in and really run the show in the midfield and do some of that dirty work along with the quality that he possesses, I think that will go a long way towards making this an even fight in the midfield, which is not what happened back when we played this team in May. They have a very good midfield, and I don't think enough people are thinking about it. And I think, what do we do about it? We went and signed the most expensive midfielder in the league's history, but can he show up? And if he does, I think that's going to go a long way towards Inter Miami winning this game.
Just touching on your point, touching on your point, Scotty, I think that this is an X factor, probably an unexpected X factor, but I'll tell you why. For me, it's Messi. Messi's going to be the X factor in this game. And why is Messi going to be the X factor? Because of exactly what you just spoke about, that midfield. And Cubas, the job that Andres Cubas did on Messi in the games that they played and held him scoreless and gave him a fit, I think that that's something that definitely too many people haven't really spoken about. And Messi's going to have to figure out a way to get in the game and be able to do the things that he typically does, because he hasn't had the luck against Vancouver and against Andres Cubas. And somebody that also might help in that respect are guys like Tadeo Allende and guys like Silvetti, that if they do the things that they've been doing as of late, will create fits for this defense, will take attention from that midfield that will hopefully free up Messi to do the things that Messi does. But that midfield is really good, and we need Messi to figure it out. And also Mascherano figure it out, because we might be in for a tough one if we don't.
Yeah, no, I think those are really good answers. I think Rodrigo de Paul, to touch on what you were saying, Scotty, because I think, in the beginning when he started with Inter Miami, there was a fair amount of criticism, I think, about some of his performances. I think especially in these playoffs, every playoff game, in my opinion, I think he's been really, really great. He has been everywhere on the field. I just think every time I'm watching, I'm like, he is covering every inch of this field, and it's what you need and what you want to see. Let's talk about his partner, though, in the midfield, who will be playing in his final competitive match. One of is Sergio Busquets, and he's been, I'd say, it's been quiet, quote unquote, on the Sergio Busquets front, but he was obviously responsible for the first goal of the night with New York City FC with that amazing ball over the top to Tadeo. And I just think, what I say to Gian all the time is I can't believe Busquets and Alba are retiring, because I still would have them start for me any day of the week. Talk about just, how important that partnership is, and just Sergio in general, as, knowing how important the midfield battle is going to be.
Busquets is, I think he's the second best player on this team right now. And we rewatch all the games in order to try and have an informed opinion on every single game. And one of the things that we see every single time is Busquets was fine when we watched it live, and then we rewatch the game, and you just see how impactful he is, not just in the big plays, right? We saw the Tadeo Allende goal, but just dictating pace, understanding when to press, understanding when to press the tempo. He's just so fantastic, and you're right. He is, I think, not the most athletic player in the world, so people give him flack for that. But when you actually stop and see, he actually makes up for it with really impressive one-on-one defending. He's very good in his space, and then the way he gets on the ball and controls the game, it's unbelievable to watch, especially when you slow down and really pay attention. And I couldn't say enough great things about Busquets, because even on this team, I think he's as talented as anyone, really, other than Messi.
I'm just happy you said that Busquets is the second best player on this team, because I've thought that all along. I think he's underrated, honestly. I mean, people,
which is crazy to say, but yeah,
they know the name Busquets, but I feel like the appreciation for what he actually does on the field, because he's not that flashy. Last season, the reason we got one of the reasons, because there were many reasons, but one of the reasons we got knocked out in the first round, I think, is because we were missing Busquets. And any time that Mascherano decides, thank God he's not doing that as often now, but he decides to put Busquets into the defense, I'm like, you lose that whole fluidity in that midfield. There's nobody else that makes the passes he does. Literally nobody, other than Messi, obviously. But I can't agree more. He's the second best player.
Yeah.
I do want to say, now that we're talking about the midfield, this is the last time we're ever going to see Inter Miami's midfield perform the way that it will. Like, it's never going to happen again. Busquets is a unicorn of a player. And there's nobody of his skill set that Inter Miami can buy or bring up from the academy that's going to do the same things that Busquets does. So this is the last time we're going to see this midfield perform the way that it does, and somebody like Busquets controlling the midfield, because it's never going to happen again in Inter Miami's history. So I'm going to literally just sit back and enjoy it while I can, because these last 2 years have been something special. And I know I was skeptical about him playing in a midfield too with Rodrigo de Paul, and I didn't like the way Javi Marciano set it up. I still don't think it's perfect, but the best part about these players is they're such veterans. They know exactly how to adapt. And the reason Rodrigo de Paul has looked so good recently is because I think he's learned how to play with Sergio Busquets. And yeah, I don't think we can talk enough good things about Sergio Busquets as a player. But the one thing I do want to say is, talking about appreciation, this is the last time it's going to happen. Our midfield is never going to look the same. So soak it in while we can, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Busquets might be leaving, but who saw that? Who knew that Yannick Bright had that through ball pass in his pocket? My goodness,
Yeah.
that was spicy. Like,
I love Yannick
okay,
Bright.
at least he's learning that before Busquets leaves, because wow, that was incredible. I had to look twice. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, that I would say the only downside about the recent Inter Miami form is that it's been at the cost of Yannick Bright, and I'm devastated that Sergio Busquets is going to be retiring. But I do feel a little bit of good that at least Yannick Bright now will be, not exactly slotting in and replacing, but a player who I absolutely love and think will have a really bright future. Okay, well, so I know you guys only have a few minutes left, so before you go, I think it's, of course, what we need your prediction for the final score, who's going to score, anything you think can happen, whatever you want to share, because I know you guys obviously are doing your episodes as well. So whatever you feel comfortable sharing, but maybe just one prediction you have for this Saturday's game, and letting us know if you think that in 48 hours from now we will be fans of the MLS champions.
Scotty, I'll let you take this one first, because I'm still thinking about my prediction.
You're a gentleman, so I don't know if I'm ready to do a score prediction, but I will come up with a premonition.
Okay.
I think that someone off the bench, and probably Telasco Segovia, is going to come on and make a huge impact. So I kind of like what Sor mentioned earlier. If this is a game that goes in the second half, I actually think Inter Miami has guys on the bench that are maybe either more talented or in better form than the guys that are starting. And I think they can come in and make a huge impact. And you mentioned Yannick Bright, Sor, you mentioned Telasco Segovia. I think Segovia is the type of player that's going to come in and have sort of like a winning moment, if not the goal, maybe like the build, and a huge play in the build-up, huge pass, maybe gets the assist. I think Telasco Segovia is going to have a huge moment in this game.
Well, really quick before you go, Sora, really quick, I just want to say it's crazy to say, yeah, he's really good in our bench. Yannick Bright's really good. I do, without, being ironic, we do have Luis Suarez on the bench, who is, one of the greatest scorers of this century and this iteration of soccer, right? That we've seen for both club and country, over 500 goals, maybe even over 600 goals. So it's fair to say he could be an X factor too.
Honestly, I think that's a good shout. And I do think that's the obvious answer, which we should all be expecting from Suarez, right? The expectations still from him are high. Just because he hasn't started the last two games doesn't mean that we don't expect him to make an impact when he doesn't come off the bench. So I hope that he has a good game. We don't know how long he is for the Inter Miami world. Maybe this is his last game as well. So I would love nothing more than for him to go out on a high note, at least this season, and finish it off on a good note. He's had a decent season, absolutely. So I hope Suarez does have an impact in this game. But I have a bit of an offbeat prediction for this one.
Good.
Again, this might change because I still haven't gotten to the full final mindset yet. But for me, I think it's going to go into extra time. 1-1 into Miami in extra time. And we're going to get the winner from Maxi Falcon. I think he's been a phenomenal player this entire
I agree.
playoff run. He has been nothing short of brilliant, and I would put him at the same level as Tadeo Allende, just on the other side of the pitch. And I think it's all going to culminate in him scoring a header off the top of his big fat head, and we are going to get a 2-1 Inter Miami victory with Maxi Falcon taking his shirt off and going wild in extra time. I hope that's the case.
Sorry. I'm just saying
That's
that if
epic.
that ends up coming to fruition and we have an extra time game, you're gonna pay my emergency bill when I go to the urgent care, because that will send me directly in an ambulance to the urgent. That is one of those games where your heart is popping out of your chest, and it's never fun to watch when it's your team. It's never fun to watch when it's your team.
I know, but it's the afternoon on a Saturday. I have blocked off my entire day to do nothing else. So if it has to go until that time, I'm more than ready for it. I'm going to have like a few medicines around me just to make sure I don't collapse with fear and anxiety. But yeah.
Oh my God.
I love it though.
I love it too. All right. Well, on that note, Scotty, Sor, thank you both so much for joining us on this episode and preview. Obviously, we've been chatting all season long. It's been really fun. Exciting, and look where we are now. We're about to go into the MLS Cup final. It's pretty exciting.
One more game.
One more game. That's
One
all.
more.
90. You say more than 90 minutes. I'm gonna say 90 minutes from absolute glory. So make sure everyone who's listening, of course, checks out Drive Pink Dialogue podcast. If you want to shout out your Twitter and let people know about your episodes, you guys cover obviously all of the matches, do post game reactions all the time. Really good content. So just thank you both so much for joining. And vamos.
Let's go.
Thank you guys.
Vamos.
See you guys.
See ya. Okay. All right. So then with that in mind, we have already our next guest, and this is actually our final guest for this episode, which is some would say best for last. I'm not going to say that, but it is my very, very good friend, our very good friend, Javi Guerrero from Lemon City Live. Someone who I think is one of my favorite people to be around during the season. He keeps me sane as we watch all of the home matches. Always the really great thoughts and commentary about soccer overall, but definitely for Inter Miami. Javi, how we feeling? Thank you so much for joining.
Sorry.
Thanks for having me, guys. What's up? How you doing? No, feeling great. Really, really ready for this game. I think it's going to be a really good game and excited. I mean, I was reading on Twitter, Tom Bogert had an article he wrote, and one of the executives quoted as like, that most people in the league are rooting for Vancouver, but, the league needs a team like Miami, right? Kind of both things are true. And to me, this is Miami versus MLS. I think every other fan base is rooting for Vancouver. And let me tell you something. I was at the press conference stuff today, and those guys from Vancouver, the coach and Mueller and Berhalter were really charismatic guys, right? They're easy to love and easy to like, and they have a really nice story, supposedly overachieving. They weren't expecting everything that's going on now, and it's a great story, and I appreciate it, right? But I appreciate Inter Miami's story. I appreciate the way that they're doing things, the way that they came in with flair, with flavor, with everything that's so Miami into the league, unapologetic, saying this is who we are, this is what we want to do, and we're going to do it. And obviously, there were some bumps along the road. Led who is without sin cast the first stone. All these people think they've never done anything wrong, but fine. They got past that. That was their transgressions. They're here now. They're doing things the right way, and they're still getting hated on. And what people don't understand is that down here we don't really care, right? We don't really care about that too much. And we play that villain role. And sometimes it's not because you ask for it. It's just everybody looks at Miami. It's like you look at all the teams, the pro teams, the college team, everybody. They look at the Miami teams as the bad guys for some reason. Don't know why.
Like the Warriors in basketball.
I
Too
think
bad.
They are really good, and they're not so bad. We got some charismatic guys. I mean, it was Jordi Alba and Noah Allen, two likable guys, and Alba talking about it's his last pro game and reminiscing a little bit, and then Noah his first big game, right? So it's a nice thing. Miami's a nice story. I like Miami's story, not just because I'm here, but because I think it really is necessary for the league. I think you need to have a team like this.
Yeah, it's nothing. It's nothing we're not used to, like you said, Shai. I mean, from you talk about from the days of the Heatles here with Braun, Bosch, Wade, they hated
Yeah.
on us, and they hate on us now because of the fact that we have a team owner that's willing to spend to bring in some of the best players in the world here to play on this team, and for some reason they hate on that, and they come up with these tifos that say plastic and Barbie and all this.
What do they mean by that? Some of these teams call us plastic, and they had like star players come in.
Yes.
Even at the beginning of the league, right? They would place them. Like Beckham was in LA. They put Thierry Henry in New York. Like they would place them in the big markets. And
LA.
I think they're upset that Miami has become a big market attraction. You know?
Yeah, that's something I've never understood. We're not the first to bring in these type of players, but I think they also missed the second part of the equation. Is Inter Miami has brought in these players, but look at the development that Inter Miami has had. The players, the homegrown players that they've been able to move up. I mean, there's two parts of this equation, and they look at one and they completely dismiss the other. You talk about players like Noah Allen, like Ian Frey. You're talking about bringing in guys and giving them exposure, like Diego Gomez, Yannick Bright one, Diego
even
Gomez,
Allende, right? Even Allende now.
Like they're bringing in players that are flourishing within the realm of this Inter Miami team, and the development I think here is top notch, and they completely dismiss that. But I think that we use it as motivation. These players use it as motivation. Not that they need any, but they use it as motivation. And one of the things I think that, look, I understand that people hate on a team that's excelling, but one of the things I saw was a word thrown around the socials was arrogant, and I think that this team is the farthest thing from arrogant. At least from the experiences that we've had, they know they're good, but they're a humble team, and the last thing we've seen is an arrogant team. So
confidence, they confuse the confidence and knowing that you're excellent at what you do at your craft, like, for arrogance. I'm gonna think, like, I'm trying to think of any of the ones we've interviewed that have been arrogant.
The least arrogant superstar, I mean, greatest of all time, literally Lionel Messi. Talk about the least arrogant player I think you'll ever see, especially if you're going pound for pound for their talent. The least arrogant player I've ever seen. And yeah, a lot of humble.
Not even the young guys.
players.
I can't think of
No.
arrogant. Like, even let's say if you're gonna say Rodrigo de Paul, right? Let's say you're and he's easy to interview. He speaks.
No, you can make fun of how he dresses, but arrogancy is not.
Maybe Kremaski was. There was that kind of thought.
You think arrogant? I
didn't think he was, but I remember during the fallout that was kind of a word that was used when he was talking about, one.
I always thought he was a little mature for his age. Like, even when he was younger, he did go interviews and stuff. I think he got worse as he got older. But I don't know. Yeah, you can't control people's perceptions. I mean, you can just control how you feel. And I like I said before, I don't think they really care. They know that, these guys, the legends, they know they're legends, but look at the way that they deal with the young kids on the team. I mean, it's well known that they go out of the way and they teach and they talk. Alba with Allen, like, even Suarez, like, maybe you can say arrogant, but I think it's on the pitch and the person. I was just speaking with one of the colleagues that just interviewed him, and I asked about him, and she says, he's so humble and polite and nice, and like, when you get on the pitch, sometimes that changes. And I guess people like your persona, they think the pitch is the person outside. Sometimes if you play soccer, man, the passion and like the feelings, emotions get up. And I'm not saying any of the crap that he's ever done is justified, because I'm not justifying any of that. But I don't think they're arrogant. I think sometimes they do some crazy stuff like him on the pitch. But Inter Miami is just a great team, that just came into this league and said, you know what, we're going to do it our way. I thought of putting the meme of Frank Sinatra, what's more American than Frank Sinatra, and say, hey, we did it our way. But say it, but have them sing it like with a little Spanish accent, like a little bit of accent there. So, and I think that's what bugs people. But I don't know. I don't know. And we don't care. I just, let's talk about this game, because this is going to be, I think, a great matchup. And Miami has everything, I think, going their way to win it. So if they don't, this would be more catastrophic and a greater disappointment than even being eliminated in the first round to me.
Yeah, I agree. I think also, sorry, I'm just going to say that I think that you should do consulting work for the tifos that La Familia puts up, because that Sinatra one would have been
That would have
fuego.
been nice.
I'm full of great ideas. Who do I have to reach out
You
to?
are.
Give me some-
We're
give-
talking about it all the time. You do always have great
give
ideas.
me some phone numbers. I love this here. Kermaski was cocky. Okay. I
Yeah.
could deal with that. I could deal with cocky, you know. And arrogant just seems, the connotation seems different.
Meaner.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems meaner. Cocky, you know, okay, you know, you're a little cocky, but arrogant. Perhaps I'm trying to think. I mean, if I'm trying to think which player, I don't even. Who would be the arrogant player in the league? Like, who would be the an arrogant player in the league right now, off the top of your head? Off the top of your head, I'm trying to think.
I can't think of any.
I couldn't.
Or even just worldwide, like the first guy you think of arrogant, because I know before you would think like Balotelli, but we're talking about like somebody now in the moment.
Vini.
Vinny. I would say Vinny. Yeah, that's a good answer.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Do we have a Vinny on the team?
No,
I don't think we do. I don't think we do. So we are, I think, in good shape with that. And you
that was a great one,
Vinny.
Vinny. You know, and
Vinny
I like Real
definitely-
Madrid. I like Real Madrid. Sometimes I just get pissed at his nonsense.
But most Brazilian players have that arrogance to them, which is what kind of makes
Cocky.
them so great. Cocky. Okay. So you mentioned it briefly, Javier, but let's talk a little bit about Cristiano Ronaldo. Okay, yeah, that is definitely the most arrogant cocky player of all time.
Yeah. But I was saying like kind of like relevant. Like he's kind of
right.
He's over there in no man's land, and I think his time has passed. But yes, definitely like in his moment for sure, that would be number one.
Definitely number one. Okay, so with Vancouver though, a team that I think has been quiet but mighty, right, in their play this season in MLS, and has kind of gotten better as the season has gone on. Have some big names on it. We've already talked about a few, but let's talk about Thomas Muller, because talk about big names and serial winners. Is there a better serial winner in the history of Europe than Bayern Munich? Really, if you're really talking about it, I mean, he has been for the last 10, 15 seasons part of a team that won almost everything and was almost robotic in how great they were from every part of it. And already I think he's bringing some of that, that formal way of winning to this team, and has added a ton to Vancouver overall with, Berhalter, Brian White, all giving their parts as well. What are your thoughts on Muller and his impact in the game? And do you think it still won't be enough though to counteract Messi?
You know what? I thought that it was great when he was up there with Berhalter. He's so charismatic, and overall, I got a really good impression of the Vancouver, them two, and the coach. Like, I can understand why so many people like, that team. The players are very charismatic. The coach was great. That he spoke well, and Mueller's cracking jokes and he's talking facts. He's cracking jokes, but he's saying things correctly. They asked him about all his championships and where this ranks this MLS, and I think that the person that was asking the question was kind of trying to compare champions and World Cups and all that stuff to kind of downplay MLS, to kind of like, and he didn't buy that. He said, this is my most important right now because all those are gone.
The next one,
this is it. I'm playing and everything. This means everything to me. And other gems that he spoke, I really, really enjoyed listening to him speak. I think that when you have someone that's so talented, so charismatic and smart, it elevates the team, elevates the people, the motivation, and also their IQ goes up because they're just oh, okay, I understand what you're okay. Now I see what you see. Sometimes hopefully they would.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, wow, look, it's two distinct leaders, ultra leaders. Messi on one side is much quieter, right? Not as vocal, though he's more vocal now than earlier in his career, right? But and he does it on the pitch. He shows by his leadership is by example, and he is definitely the leader of this team. But I think that he's a great influence on that team. He's still a great player. But to your question, I believe, and he said it's not Messi versus Mueller, right? He said, his teams have defeated. He's won more times. His team has won more times against Messi's team, because he says we've never played 1-on-1. I would love to see. I'd pay for that if they did a 1-on-1.
Which is a good answer, yeah.
I think that it's not going to be enough for them because of so many things that are Miami's favorite. Someone said there that Vancouver is like the silent assassin, and wait, Vancouver is way better than Miami. I don't think so.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that.
I think that if you're talking to me at that point in the season when they met, I will agree with you. Vancouver and the aggregate showed it 5-1. Vancouver was way better than Miami. If you're going to tell me at that point in the season, I agree with you. Sub the 1089. But we're talking about now. The past is the past. We're talking about right now. And is Vancouver much better than Miami? No, absolutely not. Just look at the way that they got to the final, the trajectory, the way that they're playing, right? Vancouver got through a couple of times like by the skin of their, chinny chin chin. So, but that's in the past because now it's one game. And if they come out and play fantastic, they definitely can beat Miami. And they've done it, right? But are they way better than Miami? Absolutely not. Miami's peaking. Miami's got their players, not just Messi, but their players playing at a higher level than they have all season. You saw that Messi did his assist in the last game. They scored 5. I don't think he's going to be quiet or be shut out 2 games in a row. I think he's going to get on the scoreboard. So I think Miami has to be the favorite. The home field advantage, the streak they're on, the players are much more athletic, agile, and dynamic. The game is more vertical than when they played them. So I think it's a different matchup. And the coach said it. Jesper, he said this is a more balanced Miami team. So I don't think they're way better. I don't think Miami's way better either. But I do believe right now Miami is in a better moment. But we're going to see it. So it all comes down to play. That's why you have to play the game. I think it's in Miami's favor. The time, 2:30, the heat, it's so many things in Miami's favor that's why I believe they got to take it.
Yeah, this Vancouver team is playing a different Inter Miami team, a team that finally figured out how to play in reality, a team that changed its style, that's changed some of its players. Back when Vancouver played Inter Miami, they were facing a Telasco Segovia that was starting. That I know you can argue whether he's a starter now or not, but it's a different team. They were playing a team that had Redondo, that wasn't necessarily playing up to the expectations that a lot had for that position on this team at the time. Now you have De Paul. Instead of Telasco Segovia, you have a Silvetti that allows
Redondo to De Paul is definitely an improvement.
Yeah,
he's gotten much better. He's playing like we expected for him when he got
from the beginning. Exactly. And now, I was joking with Ash that what really unlocked this team was Nashville snitching on Inter Miami and Suarez, unfortunately having to pay the price. And now you have 2 wings that are speedy, that can run in behind. It frees up Messi more. And if we remember those games, this was a Messi that was kept on lock by Cubas. And he wasn't able to do anything. He didn't assist. He didn't score. He did nothing during those games. And now you have 2 guys that are lethal. You have a Tadeo Allende that is not the same Tadeo Allende that played against these guys. So it's hard to say that based off of 2 games that they played earlier on in the season with a different Inter Miami team that will translate to what will happen again in this game. So to me, I agree with what you're saying, that I think Inter Miami is better. I'm not going to say how much I measure that difference by, but this is a different team, and it's a team that not only has it improved offensively, but it has improved defensively. It's a team that's now getting clean sheets and is not getting scored on as often. And I think
Nova deserves a lot of credit.
Yeah.
Mascherano deserves a lot of credit for making these moves and having the guts to make them. But what was intended to be something to work against Inter Miami ended up being a blessing in disguise, right? You open the Cervetti box. You allow this young kid who just is coming out and wants to tell the world, "Hey, I'm here. I want to be a top player," and he's scoring. And it's his energy, his aggressiveness. I remember the very first time that I interviewed him, the very first game that he played, not too far into the game. The first thing he did, he got a ball, he just ripped one. Like the game he just got into the game and he just ripped it like if he had been forever with the team. And then he goes and whacks a defender, boom, and gets a yellow card. And I'm thinking, man, it's usually the defender who says, "Hi, welcome to the league," boom, and whacks the new guy. No, this was the new guy whacking the defender. And so when after the game he was made available, and I asked him, "Hey, is this how you can we expect this aggressiveness from you?" He's like, yeah, like a little kid. It was hilarious. Like, yeah, I like to play aggressive, and this is how I am. And I said, wow, this I like this mentality. And he's shown he's got a knack for scoring. He's got a knack, and then he pressures. He gets on top of people. You saw he made a left-footed beautiful pass to Messi to score a header. Like he's providing so many things. Suarez is a living legend, but he's providing what this team needed: the verticality, the speed, the intensity. Dynamic. Now people have to worry, because before you didn't have to worry about guys flying behind you. Right. And now you have to worry about that. But not only do you worry about that, you got you got Rodriguez by the side. You got all these young guys flying around the field defending too. People are upset that Telasco was benched. He was having a really good season. And I've told, some of those people, it's like, look, the only reason I see that he's benched is that he doesn't track back the same way that these guys do. He doesn't provide the same, defensive coverage or helps with the shape that these guys do. He offensively, I think he's more advanced, more mature than Baltasar Rodriguez offensively, because I think he understands Messi. They touch the ball and like they hide it, and it's awesome. But you need to be a two-way player. You need to be able, in what Mascherano wants to do, you have to be able to go up and down. And now where they're letting Messi be the top guy, and he can just move around and do whatever he wants, and then he can get the ball and turn, and what does he do? Boom, put it into space. Turn, boom, put it into space. And now if they want to get him, they got those center backs or whoever's with him has to track a long way and leave space. So you decide, do I go in? Do I let Messi get it and let him turn? And now he's coming at me with guys flying on the side. So it's a different Miami team. The Vancouver guy here, Vancouver plays as a team. Miami is, I'm just going to read his thing. Miami is playing as a team around. There's not a single player in Miami defense that can defend Ahmed and Sawi. You're right, not a single player, but now they're defending as a team. And that's the biggest difference. There's attacking like a team. There's not a single player on Vancouver that can take Silvetti one-on-one or Allende one-on-one or like it's or Messi. Let's just say Messi. There's a lot of weapons. There's a lot of weapons at Inter Miami. And then they have best striker White. White's very good striker. Gave up his props. He's coming back from injury. He's doing pretty good. I think he's one of the best strikers in the league and the best midfield. I don't know about that, because in a midfield where you have Busquets playing again like Busquets from last season, a midfield where you have DePaul playing like the DePaul that we know and love. You have a midfield where Allende is technically like midfielder, right? They're wingers, but they're playing deep as midfielders. You have Rodriguez, and then the guys, and then you really have Messi, because Messi drops in. So I don't think they have a better midfield. I think that our defense has gotten better. I think overall as a team, Inter Miami is a more solid, and their coach said it. This is a more balanced team. This is a dangerous team. This is a very
attack. Team. Like you think about this last game where we won it, and Messi, I believe, didn't have an assist or a goal. And
I think he got an assist.
He had an assist.
He didn't get a goal.
No, not that one. The one was it the previous one? There was one where he didn't score, and the point is that this Inter Miami team is no longer as dependent as they were on Messi. This team would go play 80 minutes, 90 minutes, and you needed a moment of magic from Messi to be able to win. And it's no longer the case. I mean, Messi still has his moments, but now again, like you just said, Xavi, you've got Silvetti, you have Tadeo Allende. By the way, Tadeo Allende has a fever, so we're sending some Vicks Vapor Rub his way to make sure that he's ready for the game.
Viva Peru.
So that's important.
Put some on the heel of his feet.
Put
some on his chest.
We're gonna make sure he's ready.
And a little bit on the nose, and No, he'll be fine. He'll be fine.
Yeah, we'll make sure he's ready. Fine. But Telasco Segovia, I think that he obviously is an integral part of this team. But one of the things that kept him off the field is, I think, his fitness level. He just can't. He loses his legs too early. Looking on earlier in the season, like back to August, he started, and I'm just going to read you some of the minutes: 65 minutes, 76, 64, 45, 63, 55. He's constantly had to be subbed off, and it's not just looking at the minutes, but the eye test would show you that that's one of the things that he needs to work on is his durability. on the field, and that's why we've seen some of these younger guys. Not only do they bring the speed and do they bring the attacking prowess, but they also bring in that durability. And man, you've just got so many attacking options now. Like you said, they play as a team. It's
And
incredible.
Allende came off the bench, and he's been coming off the bench, and he's providing. And you saw that run he made, that counterattack where he scored with Jordi Alba. He sprinted. You know, he held the ball at the perfect time. He gave the ball in the perfect moment. He understood to make the cut because Jordi was, gave the little back heel, and then he finished with quality. Like, he's elevated his game, and this is what happens in great teams. Now you got the competition. Now you're not a guaranteed starter unless your name is Messi. You're not guaranteed, or Alba, because you're playing at a great level, right? So you're not really guaranteed to be the star in this team now, because the guys are coming off the bench. You got quality. I mean, you have Bright coming off the bench, and this is an even better version of Bright than last year, because now Bright does a couple of little finesse moves and some feints, and
that through pass that he made,
pass that he gave Allende. So, and he's developing, he's getting better and becoming more of a two-way threat also. And wait till he starts scoring. So everybody has things to improve, and they have been doing it, and they're playing at a high level. I mean, I'm very confident. I'm very cocky. I'm not being arrogant, but you know what? I think it's Miami's to take, right?
Yeah.
It's Miami's to take. Everything is pointing that way. But that's just like New Island said, much respect to Vancouver. I don't know if Vancouver respects Miami the same way, or if the rest of MLS respects Miami, but the Miami players respect their opponent. They know that they've lost twice, right? Different game. But this is going to be a game where they're going to come out, and I think they're focused, and they're just going to continue with the way they've been playing at a very high level. So it's going to be very tough for Vancouver to stop that machine. They're going to just have to keep goal for goal. If Vancouver can somehow mastermind and slow down the attack and keep it low scoring, then that's trouble for Inter Miami. But if Miami can get on the board, can get a couple, can start getting going, and you know what I want? I want a game like that Cruz Azul Vancouver final. That'd be fantastic.
Yeah, I love it. Well, Xavi, I think you've given some very, very good analysis and comments, and things for people to look for in this match. And we're really excited. I'll be seeing you Saturday, right? So
absolutely, I'll be there.
It's gonna be awesome. So make sure you follow Xavi. I think you want to give your Twitter and talk about Lemon City.
Right there, you got it. XG La Voz on Twitter and also on Instagram. And then you can check some of my work at Lemon City Live in www.lemoncitylive.com. It's absolutely free. We talk not just Inter Miami, but all the major South Florida sports teams. So give it a try. Awesome. Lemon City Live.
Love it. All right. Well, thank you, Xavi, so much for joining. And we'll talk with you soon.
Thanks, Xavi.
All right. Well, we've been on for almost over an hour now, and I think it's time to wrap up the show. We've had on some very, very good guests. Has made this a really fun and interesting show. And there's only one thing left to do, Gian, and that's predict how or if Inter Miami are going to beat Vancouver and become the MLS Cup champions of the 2025 season. What do you think is going to happen?
Well, number one, I know they're going to be champions. I am that confident. I am that not arrogant. I am that cocky. Like Xavi just said,
confident.
This Inter Miami team will win. The question is, what is it going to look like? What is that picturesque Hollywood championship movie going to look like through 90 minutes? And to me, I think I'm talking from a health perspective here. A non-heart attack, a non-palpitation, no need for urgent care mindset here. I need it to be smooth sailing. I want this game. I think this game will end in a 3-1 win for Inter Miami. And how it plays out is, I think that this game, because Inter Miami always has that second like power, that second part of the engine that is Inter Miami, that they can turn on at any time. We've seen that where the game looks close. It's a 1-1. It's a 1-0. They tie. Minute 60 comes and they say, you know what? They flip the switch and they score 3 in 15 minutes. And it's like, we've seen that over and over again. And I really think that this Inter Miami team is so on fire. Silvetti, Allende, Messi are playing at such a high level. Busquets and the ball are locked in. This defense is not allowing goals, hardly any. I really think it'll be a tight game. Inter Miami will let Vancouver feel like they're in it through about 55 to 60 minutes. And then they turn on the turbo, they turn on the boost, and they score 2 more goals, and they win 3-1 for what will be the last 10 minutes of the game, where we can be relaxed and just celebrate for 10 minutes until the 90th minute. We'll be having fun. La fiesta, the party starts at minute 80. The last 10 minutes is a party, and we will win. We will be crowned champions, and I just cannot wait. I am insanely excited for this.
I love it. I think I agree. I'll say a couple of score predictions we're getting.
Wait, don't mess this up. I'm on fire here. I'm happy. Don't give me one of SAR's predictions here where it's going to extra time. Don't ruin it for me.
4-1, 3-1, 4-2. A lot of people, and Natalia, I think, saying it great. We've learned from our losses. This group knows how to win. Here's a good one. 5-1. That's a nice prediction to have.
Oh, geez, I hope, yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, I'll say mine, and I think the truth is, I agree. I'm so confident in this team. Look, Vancouver is going to be a great competitor. It will be a great game. We talked about already some of the great players that they have. That will definitely make this, a game where Inter Miami are going to give their very best. But I'll say it, if and as they've been giving their very best these last few weeks, they are unstoppable. Inter Miami are going to win this game. I'm going to say the same as you, 3-1. We're united in our prediction, our final prediction of the season. Messi and Co. is 1 in their prediction, and that is that Inter Miami are going to win 3-1 and lift that MLS Cup trophy in less than 48 hours from now. Pretty exciting.
Exciting. Very, very exciting. Before we go, I know this is a podcast for another day, which we can do.
We will talk about this,
but there is no replacing Sergio Busquets. He is irreplaceable. And Luis Suarez, he hasn't officially said that he's retiring. We can only think, but we'll do something. We'll definitely touch on that subject. But for now, we're just insanely excited. We're both going to be there. So we'll both be bringing you content. So you guys got to make sure you follow us. We're going to bring you videos. We're going to bring commentary. I'm going to get there early, Ash. I'm not sure exactly what time you're getting there. I'm getting there for La Previa. If you can make it.
Yeah, I'm gonna get there a little early.
If you guys are there too at La Previa, look for me so we can say what's up. Maybe
come say hi. If you see us at the stadium, we totally want to say hi and talk about it. All right, Gian, this has been such an awesome episode. Again, thank you so much to Scotty, Sor, Javi, and Iggy for joining this episode, and all of the people in the comments have been giving such great feedback, chats, questions, thoughts, everything like that. And so, really quickly, I think we saw this earlier. Where is that? Can you say again where the pregame is going to be at specifically?
So it's behind the stadium, and it's where I believe they call it the community field. It's the green lot. The green lot is the lot behind.
Yes.
But unless you have actual parking passes for the green lot, you can't park there. So you'll probably just park in the regular area, and then you'll have to walk around the stadium. And in the green lot, there'll be some stuff going on, but it's next to it where it's the community field. So they'll be set up there. There's a soccer field so the kids can play, and there'll be free food. They'll be doing barbecue. So it's a really good time. So
love it. Oh, Natalia, this is a perfect way to end it. Matt obviously hasn't been able to finish the season with us, as have dealing with personal things, and we obviously respect and love him, and have still been chatting with him. This was the episode we all said it. If Inter Miami win the championship, we're all gonna have our ice cream flavors ready to go, and I think we can continue that. And I will say next week, if and when Inter Miami are crowned MLS champions, we will both be starting this stream with our favorite ice cream in hand. So yeah, thank you again so much to everyone who listened, who watched, who's been with us all season, who's been with us since the start of Messi in 2023, not going anywhere. And obviously we're just so excited for this match, and so excited for what this team has become. So thank you again. Make sure you're following us at Messi and Co on X to be there for all of the news Saturday as we watch the biggest game of the season, and we're excited and hoping to see that Inter Miami victory lifting the trophy. So for this episode of Messi and Co, I'm Ashley. That is Gian. We will see you next time, and vamos Inter Miami.
Next time you see us, we'll be champs.
Vamos.